me. Hmm. Thank you. Ah, hello, menace from the sky. Not the ninja poop. Wait. Okay, so I'm just waiting for the ads to be over so we can get started. Hope you're doing good today. Yes, yes, yes. And those are all lovely emotes. Thank you for sharing. Oh, actually, what is this one? Oh. do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing today? Today, we shall continue with more pixel art grinding because this commission is really big. But we are getting there. Ah! Ya missed. Ya missed, Mamachi. Ne. Okay. So, this one is kinda interesting. Because theoretically, the leather week is kinda like the leather better, but with less. So, in theory, I can do this. Make this a little bit easier for myself. I can, instead of drawing in, I can add it out, which makes it easier for us to work on. So we don't get any shoes. We don't get no cutie clothes because this is the poor version. This is the poor version. We do get straps though. We get little straps. That we do get. Here we go. And just like that. We can strap on for adventure. There we go. So just keep doing this over and over. And we are gonna be fine. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yeah, no, this is easier. This is actually easier. God, I love the freaking Legend of Mana series. They're so good. They are such good games. Okay, everything alright? No. There, now everything's alright now. Here we are. So chat, hope you've been doing good today. Hope you've been doing good today. God. So something interesting happened to me today. So I was walking my dog as I usually do, right? And everything is going nice, the neighborhood is pretty calm. But unfortunately, every so often, there will be people who accidentally release their dogs or their dogs escape, right? So there I was walking my dog when out of the blue I see a dog escaping from one of my neighbors. And my little Popo Lila, when she was little, she has been attacked by dogs who ran away from their houses before. She did. So she is very jumpy, particularly if a dog she doesn't know runs towards her. So this dog charges in, and the only thing I can do about that is basically to pick her up on my... on my lap, essentially. Not on my lap, but I have to pick her up quickly. Otherwise, there's gonna be blood. Like, my doggo does not understand, even if the other doggo like doesn't have the intention to attack or anything like that, she is going to fight back. She's going to fight back absolutely 100%. And honestly, I don't want any trouble. I don't need any trouble. So I picked her up, and I could tell the other doggo was actually not aggressive at all. They started sniffing. They kind of just wanted to meet her, but they are like advanced and really aggressive. And because I picked her up, that like I kind of reinforced that the dog was that danger to her. So she got on high alert, and she started, because she was on high alert. She wanted me to drop her so she could fight the doggo. Of course I'm not gonna do that. And the lady was still like kinda trying to get the doggo to come back, but wasn't like trying too hard. She was like, oh, don't worry too much, she's not gonna harm her. And I was like, no, but if I put her down, she's gonna harm your dog. And the lady like wasn't really listening that much. So anyways, Lila started trying to break away so she could get down. And she grabs my pants with her paws, gets stuck on my pants. And she starts kicking, which means my pants start getting pulled down by my own dog. And thankfully Momochi was around, so Momochi grabs my pants and is pulling my pants up while I'm holding Lila, and prevents me from going pantless in front of this lady who has let her dog escape. So that was something. That was something that happened today. That was absolutely a thing. That happened to me today. Was interesting, not gonna lie. Overall, wouldn't recommend this experience to anyone. But honestly, it's fine. It's not even the first time I dropped my pants in public. Not even the first time. First time I dropped my pants in public was pretty special though. So this is another story. Back when I was dating Momochi, I had to take the bus in order to see her because she lived in another town. It wasn't like very particularly close or anything either. It wasn't too far away, but it wasn't like very convenient. So I had to take a bus that was like intercity bus, I think it was called. And in order to get my bus to go back home, there was like this huge station that was filled with people. They even had like some international bus arrivals there and stuff. So as you can tell, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big place. Pretty crowded place too. Now here's the story. Now that you know the setting. I stayed at Momochi's place as I usually do, and it was Monday morning. I had night classes, so I had to get home to get ready for my night classes. So I bid Momochi goodbye. I'm kinda drowsy. I have to get up pretty early to make sure I don't miss the time. Hello, Maximum Sharpie. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So anyways, I'm in a rush. I end up forgetting my pants at Momochi's place. Not my pants. I don't forget my pants. No. It's not that stupid. Hold up. I forgot my belt. So I'm wearing these jeans without any belts. And I have my wallet on my pockets because at the time, Fanny packs were considered really lame, and I haven't been blessed with the gift that is man handbags yet, right? Not bad, just finishing writing a sweet scene. Shove the characters now, I'm trying to figure out the right picture for the scenes. Oh, that's great to hear. Glad to hear it's going well. So, I forgot my belt, and I'm sleepy and in a rush, and all my things are stored in my pocket, in this beltless pair of jeans that honestly were a little bit large for me. Not gonna lie, they were a little bit large for me. So, I'm in a rush, I arrive at the station, tons of people, and if I recall correctly, the extra tip on the iceberg is that I was late because I don't know why I had to pick like a really early bus ride home, and I bought the tickets in advance. If I didn't get on time, I would have to wait like 1 hour and a half extra for the next one and pay the money again, because no refund, those things were no refundable. Hey Camugod! I'm telling a story about losing your pants in public. So anyways, the weight of my... I'm running in public with these very heavy pairs of pants because of my wallet, right? Oh no, please tell me it's a bad dream. It isn't. But it doesn't lead to any particularly bad situation, if that is but anyways, I am running, my pants are heavy, and I go down the stairs, and after I finish going down this flight of stairs that were there, right? My pants just decide, you know what? Well, I'm not supporting you anymore. And they just go whoop, like completely down. Completely down. Using master ninja reflexes, and pretty hyped up on adrenaline, I just pull them back up in like a millisecond. I reach for the pockets on my pants that's going down and pull them back up in a millisecond. And I look around and I see that no one is actually looking at me. Somehow, I managed to pull my pants back up before anyone noticed they were down. But they were completely down for a second there. They were absolutely completely down. For a small millisecond, I was completely exposed in public. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, you do not forget your belts at your girlfriend's house. Ever. I'm not flashing in public, it was an accident. It was an accident. You gotta believe me, officer. It was an accident. So yeah, so I'm no stranger to being pantless in public. Unfortunately. But like, Jesus Christ, that place was packed. Is it a curse? Maybe, because like I was saying, oh god, something... I dropped my pants while walking my doggo today. The reason why that happened was because someone let their doggo escape. So I had to pick Lila up because she reacts really poorly to other doggos approaching her too suddenly, right? And she started kicking my pants down while I was holding her. Because she really wanted to confront the doggo. Thankfully, Momochi was there to hold my pants up. It was an interesting situation. It was a very interesting situation. Like, goddamn lady, goddamn. It's not that hard to not let your doggo escape. You can do it. I believe in you. Please. Please pick your doggo back. It's not that hard. Like, I don't trust Leela to greet other people's doggos peacefully. Unless, ironically enough, they are puppies. If they are puppies, it's completely fine. Leela only really cares if she can bully the crap out of the dog. She's usually okay with it. She will threaten the dog a little bit. The dog surrenders, and she is fine. Dang, my computer died. I'm back though. Oh no! Oh no! Hope everything is okay with your computer, come on god. We've been through a lot of computer issues. Honestly, we've been through so many computer issues, I am actually afraid to even think about doing that collab with Momochi again. It feels like we're cursed by the game. I know, right? That is so weird. Ampan is good. Ampan is good. Damn, it's been a while. It's been a while. I love Ampan. The texture of the red bean paste, I like it a lot. It's very good. It's very good. Honestly, Momochi introduced me to a bunch of different Japanese food that I didn't eat before I met her. You know, at best, mooncake... No, I have not. What's the mooncake like? What's the mooncake like? Hold up. Describe me a mooncake first. Maybe I had it, and I don't know. Is the mooncake like that one where it's like 2 pieces of dough that it's kind of like a soft cookie, and the filling is marshmallow? Because I had those. I had those before. If that's a mooncake, then yes. If not, then I haven't. Not that? Ah, okay. I like that one though. I like that one though. Okay, so we take this. I don't think it's your butt, Momochi. Somehow I don't think it's your butt. Let's take the reference here. It's like pastry filled, usually red beans paste and salted the egg yolks. You can get one without egg yolks, however, there's also savory meat ones. Huh. I don't think I have. Can't say that rings a bell for me. Interesting. There are different types, but most commonly it's a circle-shaped one with pretty designs such as flowers. Ah. That is cool. I don't know why mooncake sounds like an euphemism for something. I know it isn't, but for some reason sounds like an euphemism for something. And not just because of the cake part. Let's see here. Do not look at the calories. I mean... It already has salted egg yolks with bean paste. Yeah, it's gonna be high on calories. There is no way. It's a calorie bomb, huh? I see. You're supposed to slice it like pizza even though it's small for like little cake slices. Oh. Man, it's sad that there is food that's so good, but it's like so bad for you. Usually some of the best tasting food is like terrible for your health and stuff like that. Which is like a big shame. It's like if you're eating a Big Mac, don't look at the calories. Don't actually. The most common filling is a lot seed space, and the lot seed one without any egg yolks has as much fat. 5 fried chicken wings. Oh god. Oof. God. I actually have a lot of issues with fatty food. If I eat too much, I will usually go down. Extra fatty food ends me. Every so often, like I can have it. It's almost a cycle. Whenever like I have too much takeout food and stuff like that with a lot of fried stuff like that. It's like a matter of time until I get sick. Bit of a ticking time bomb. I think like this. There we go. There we go, the dress robe. Same, I don't like fried chicken often, but I eat become sick for a whole day if it's a little bit of fried chicken. Ah. In my case, I feel like I have a scorecard system. I can eat it sometimes, but it's like the more I eat, Every time I eat, it like ticks away a little bit at my health. And after I eat and stuff, then bad things will happen. Yeah, no. It is fine. It is fine. Just one of those things you gotta learn to live with, and you... as long as you remember and keep tabs, it's fine. Which is why you're also on Lila's diet. No, I don't need a diet as restrictive as hers. Poor baby. I'll be real though, even though that diet is technically made for a dog, I am pretty sure anyone who eats her food will become healthier by default. Like, it's not bad. It has like, it has kabocha in there and a bunch of good vegetables. Very nice carb sauce. She even has fish. She has freaking fish. It's very healthy. It's very healthy, it's easy on the pancreas. I might start needing to eat like her. Honestly, me too. Honestly, me too. It's kinda dog food, but not really. Man. I wonder if there's like... You guys seen like the sponsor things where it's like, I don't know, fresh food delivered at your home because you're too lazy to cook yourself, or you just don't have time. Because most people don't have time. We don't know where time goes, but it just goes away and stuff like that. I wonder if there is one for like dog food. Like healthy dog food delivered at your doorstep. But... well, good bot, Sari. Good bot. I remember always seeing HelloFresh being advertised, but it felt scummy. I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. What the hell? I have no idea of anything about HelloFresh because it is a known thing here in Brazil. It is just not a thing. I don't even know if it would work around here. Like, usually the people who don't care about what they're eating are the ones who will be, like, addicted to iFood and stuff like that, so... most people who are asking takeouts really just want a cheeseburger. They don't It's some service that deliver to your home every week, and they just give you ingredients and a recipe card where you can find just a recipe online or book and get those ingredients for a lot cheaper. Yeah, it is really weird. It is really weird. My understanding is that it's kind of made for people with organizational issues, basically. Where it is like, it's the kind of person that goes, I really should cook something, and then they order something off iFood instead. So I guess, like, I'm just spitballing here, and I'm not saying this because I'm advertising them in any ways, because I don't have a sponsorship, and I probably wouldn't even be able to get one. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna mail me frozen food that's gonna arrive in a month for me to eat on stream. Yes, this food that was carried by UPS and Jaguar peed on it tastes delicious, guys. For reals. A Jaguar peed in... Well, it isn't a Jaguar, but a cat peed on something that UPS was supposed to deliver to our house. And we went to the zoo, and it wasn't a Jaguar, it was the ocelot cage. Smelled exactly like the packages that got peed on. So I think an ocelot peed on our UPS package. Only in Brazil, I guess. Make sure that you can't read the name of the printer color, that screen container fade away, but it's this brand! Make sure to get brand. Brand is really good. Get your brand today. Brand. It's so on brand for them to debut this brand. Heck yeah, brand. But yeah, I don't really understand. I don't really understand. Like, here in Brazil, frozen food is like not really big, you know? You go to the frozen food aisle, you know what you're gonna get? Outside of your frozen chicken fillets. If it's like a completely prepared frozen dish, what you're gonna get is gonna be, let's see, you're gonna get lasagna. You're gonna have frozen lasagna. You're gonna get more frozen lasagna. You might get a frozen macaroni, bolognese, some bolognese macaroni, maybe. There's this one thing called pasta box that has like rigatoni with different fillings, and one of them is mac and cheese. Right? Maybe you can get that. You're gonna get, there's gonna be like a single brand that will have no, it's mostly Italian. For some reason, it's like all you get is frozen Italian food. The only food I get that is frozen pizza or maybe fish. Oh, you might get a taco. If you're in like a fancy, by the way, you have to go to the fancy places for this. The only food I like to get that is frozen pizza or maybe fish. Interesting, expensive. Yeah. You might get tacos and maybe pizza, which again is Italian food. Why did we freeze our Italian food so much? Huh. Never noticed that. We seem to freeze our Italian food a lot. Probably because pasta is like... reheated pasta isn't as bad, I guess. Are the Italians proud? Not really, no. But they're not too mad about it. But hey, Brazilian Italian immigrants are just different, you know? There is... I believe there's like a... I believe it's in Rio de Janeiro. There is a neighborhood that is mostly comprised of Italian descendants, right? And one of the things that neighborhood is super known for is ketchup on pizza. Because... and that is because sometimes pizza is sold at like really cheap bars. And it's the type of pizza that is very... has like a very thin dough. And it's like the dough, a little bit of tomato sauce, some cheese, and like a single olive, and that's a slice of like bar pizza, right? So in order to make it taste less terrible, people put ketchup in it. Because it's kind of terrible and it's an improvement. It is actually an improvement. I would try it for sure, though. Does Brazil have spicy ketchup? Yes. Hello, Skyheart. Thank you for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Have a good lurk. Yeah, we do. We do. Like, we have... it isn't Hellmann's. I don't remember the brand. How much do you remember what was the brand of that brand of ketchup that's like the good one? It sounds like Hellmann's, but it isn't. I'm trying to remember the name. Heinz, not Hellmann's. Heinz. Yeah. Heinz. Thank you. Yeah, the Heinz brand will have spicy versions. It will have like versions that... How much is a commission for pixels of 5 Love and the Space Boys? Depends if it's animated or not, and how big do you want it. Because if you want like a silly, non-animated tiny thing, it can be as cheap as $10 per request, but if it's something like big and elaborate, then we're gonna have to discuss prices. Mind messaging me after stream your prices and stuff? No problem, Skyheart. I will. After stream, I'll definitely do it. That remembers I need to update my card. But absolutely. There we go. Found out about this really odd game called Hong Kong 97. Hong Kong 97? Never heard of it. Is it like one of those unrecognized? Is it a gem kind of a game? Unknown gem kind of game? Or is it like what were they thinking kind of game? I feel like old games come in exactly these two flavors. Oh, wait. Wait, I think I know this one. It's like very janky, has some weird political messaging in it. And it's kind of a fever dream. I think I seen a video about it. It's like a very weird fever dream. Takes a jab at Chinese polygon who plays Bruce Lee's cousin Chin. Yeah, I think I seen that. I seen that. It's like, what is this? You know, there was a time that it really wasn't that uncommon for people to just straight up make room hacks and turn them into cartridges and sell them like they're real games. Was very common, in fact. There's a song with someone thinking, looping every 5 seconds the whole time. Yeah. It's also a really upbeat song for some reason, even though technically the game itself is extremely bloody. I think I've seen it. I've seen it. It's a fever dream of a game. It is a fever dream of a game. But like games are awesome in the sense they are silly. They are. There was I remember something really funny. When I was little, there was this bootleg game going around that was pretending to be Mega Man 5. At the time, Mega Man 5 was unreleased. And it was close to its release date. So some smart guy picked up a version of Darkwing Duck, a Darkwing the Duck cartridge, right? And replaced the Darkwing Duck with Mega Man. Hello Zor, welcome to the stream, how are you doing? And they didn't even pick the right color for Mega Man, so it was like an orange Mega Man. So and the funny part is, the Darkwing Duck game was actually made by Capcom. So it had the Capcom logo when you started playing the game, right? So you were like excited. And suddenly, Mega Man would appear yelling, "I'm Darkwing Duck." And the Darkwing Duck game would boot up. Thank you very much for the support, Zor. Thank you. 16 months. Oh my god. Thank you. And thank you for the lurk. Mega Man's secret identity revealed? Pretty much. So yeah, and the gaming magazines at the time were going wild about it. It was like, beware of this fake Mega Man 5 game. I think the editor got tricked. I honestly think the editor-in-chief of the magazine got tricked and he bought a fake copy and he was like, oh god fucking damn it. Because they were on a crusade. And as you can tell, the Brazilian Mega Man lore just keeps expanding again. It just gets bigger. We can add Darkwing Duck to the Brazilian Mega Man lore. Yeah, it was kind of funny, not gonna lie though. It was kind of funny. There was a lot of humor stuff in old gaming magazines here in Brazil. It was actually how the author of Holy Avenger started out. He was a gaming magazine editor. There's this room hack bootleg game, which is NES Felix the Cat, except replaced Felix with a Teletubby. Yeah, that is not a stretch. Felix the Cat is kind of very childish character, right? Makes sense, actually. Interesting. Interesting. Ah, thank you for the pet, Skyheart. Wait, where did the pet go? Why am I not being patted? I thought I fixed that. Is the pet randomly not working? Hold up. Gonna get one. We get one manually then. What? There we go. There we go. The best part would be when you crouch, how should silly the Teletubby looked. And when you start stranded, Idle's Pride would play over the other one, making it you have two sets of hands. Oh no. Oh no, some of these just get nightmarish, right? Oh god. Oh god, I remember there was like the cursed Lion King room hack. Where if it's game over, Simba will grab a nozzle and... Yeah, the game over screen is that. It is absolutely fucked. It is just... Who? Why? If you hate the Lion King so much, why did you decide to make a room hack of the Lion King? Is it just for that? Do you just hate children? And you want to traumatize them? What is happening? Yeah, it's like the weirdest thing, because it was for the Game Boy Color, and they remade the entire game from the NES version. Which is like really hard to do. It was essentially a demake of the Lion King, because they have to downgrade the graphics and everything like that, right? And they just coded and recreated the game, or ported the code from the... Either way, impressive, because I have no idea how that even is a thing. But like, I think the most infamous bootleg game that there ever was, it's gotta be the Pokemon one, bootleg Pokemon. And I'm not talking about any of the 1,000 different versions. I am talking about the legendary, the only Pokemon game simply is known as Pikachu with C. Pikachu with a C. Have you ever heard of Pikachu with a C? The game is literally Pikachu misspelled. Like this. Which in Portuguese is hilarious because the word pica means dick. Is slang for dick. And the cartridge would have like some really random screenshot of Ash and Pikachu together. Just completely downgraded, looking crunchy AF, right? And it's Pikachu with a C, and you're like, what the hell is this? And when you boot it up, you found out what it was. It was a ROM hack for a Smurfs game. So basically they hacked the game to put Pikachu instead of the Smurfs. Yeah, it's a Smurfs game. There's an old Smurfs game for the NES, and they were like, you know what would make a great base for a Pokemon game? A Smurfs game. It starts in a forest. They're even like pretending it's Viridian Forest, right? And that's about it, because they like didn't like bother to try to make the sprites of the enemies look anything like Pokemon. They were too lazy for that. They did the Pikachu sprite and they're like, it's good enough. It's good enough to confuse parents. We don't even need the children to be confused by this. The Smurf movies were odd. There is a new one out, isn't there? I heard there's a new one out. And yes, especially with the one with, I think it was Neil Patrick. It was like the height of How I Met Your Mother, and you have a Barney Stinson meets the Smurf movie. Was a really odd choice. Really odd choice for a movie. But you know, they aren't completely lore inaccurate. Like, they got Smurfette's origin right. Actually, they got a lot of the lore right. It's just that the Smurfs are kinda not that amazing. Their Smurfs are kinda, you know, Smurfs. They're like tiny blue people. Anytime I think of the Smurfs movie, I think of the gift people share around with her turning blue to gray. Yeah, so interestingly enough, I watched a bit. Okay, that's enough head pads. Anyways. I watched enough Smurfs when I was little. I remember a few things about the Smurfs. I remember they're blue. I remember they're hunted by a goofy wizard named Gargamel that has a kitty that is kinda mean. And looks really scrawny. And I know he wanted them because immortality potion or something. Honestly though, with how simply broken down Gargamel's house is, I would actually believe if you just said that he was very poor and because it was dark times, the Smurfs look delicious. And he wants to just eat them. I would have bought that too, honestly. It's stuff time and the magic blue man must be eaten. The king's oppression will not end soon. We must eat the blue man. What does a Smurf taste like though? Probably blueberries. You know what? They probably taste like mushrooms. Because they live inside mushroom houses, so they must taste like mushrooms, you know? If you live inside a mushroom all day, you're gonna start to taste like a mushroom. Makes sense, right? I am pretty sure. I am pretty sure. One thing that's very interesting about Smurfette is that technically the Smurfs are genderless. Smurfette is kinda there. Wait, maybe as a self-defense they are psychedelic mushrooms to deter threats. How do they procreate? Actually, I actually know the story. They have a tiny magical stork that delivers new babies every once in a blue moon. And I am not joking. It's literally during a blue moon. Papa Smurf makes a ritual that summons new babies. It is true. It is true. This is lore. This is actual Smurf lore. I've seen the episode. I think Grandpapa Smurf was talking about it in the episode. There's a grandfather Smurf, by the way. In case you guys didn't know, he wears gold. Some say he's outstanding for religion because he wears gold. But those people are kind of raving lunatics, so don't listen to them. Wait, so how long do Smurfs live? As far as I'm concerned, they don't really die. But at the same time, it's weird because, like, Papa Smurf is clearly supposed to be the oldest Smurf. And with this whole Stork system, it would make sense that he is like the original Smurf, right? Which is why he's the older, because he got the beard. But then, Grandpapa Smurf appears, and that just mixes the system around. Because if there's a Grandfather Smurf, did Grandfather Smurf only summon Papa Smurf? It is really weird. It is really weird. It is really weird. That lore I do not know. That lore I do not know. What happened with the rest of Papa Smurf's generation? I think maybe. No, quite the opposite, Camel God. Technically, they're all brothers and brothers. They're all related. Because they're all Papa Smurf's children, right? Even though, like, theoretically they're delivered by the Stork. So, why are they related? You gotta think in child myth logic, right? By child myth logic, children are also delivered to their parents via the Stork, and they're related to their parents regardless. So, Stork magic will carry your DNA. It comes from the blue moon magic, Camel God. It comes from the magic blue moon. Very simple. Was actually a stork, or was it magic moonbeams? It might have been magic moonbeams. Hold up. Baby Smurf came from the stork or the moon? Let me see if Google knows how to answer this. Yeah, during a blue moon night, a stork leaves a baby Smurf on the door of the Smurf house and leaves. The Smurfs quickly hand the baby to one another until they end up with a Smurfette. No, they all... Yeah, this is the subplot of how Baby Smurf was delivered. There's a Baby Smurf, by the way. Yeah, it's a blue moon and it's a stork. Like, I think the way that it works, right? The way that the Smurfs actually work, the way that they actually function, is they are a semi... When the Smurf village starts to get old, right? All the Smurfs graduate into Papa Smurfs, right? And they leave their village and they look for a new place to start. And the new Papa Smurfs will start summoning baby Smurfs and they colonize a new area and populate it with Smurfs of different tempers. And as time goes by, the cycle will repeat indefinitely. The Smurfs will change into their final form, becoming Grandpa Smurfs, and they will die off. I guess Grandpa Smurf is the last of his generation. Well, thank you for the Smurf knowledge. You're quite welcome, Camel God. So before Earth, they were on a different planet. There is no lore of that. It wouldn't surprise me if they have some other relation with the Blue Moon. The Blue Moon is very important to them. The Blue Moon is very important to the Smurfs. Smurfette, I believe, was created during a Blue Moon too. Or no, actually, Smurfette was converted into an actual Smurf through the power of the Blue Moon. Papa Smurf summons the powers of the Blue Moon to turn a Smurfette into a real Smurf, because Smurfette was an artificial Smurf that was created by Gargamel with the power to seduce Smurfs. Because like I said, theoretically, Smurfs don't really have a gender, which is why Smurfette kinda inaugurates that very annoying trope of girl being a personality trait, and in her case, that is very much correct. She is technically a sexless creature that identifies herself as female. That is her actual lore. That is her actual truth. Yeah, because they think about it, Camel God. They don't really... Smurfette is an art... Smurfette is technically a homunculus, by the way. Gargamel created her using like some patches of Smurf hair and gave her a female form because he wanted her to... I must admit, Gargamel has a true hatred towards Smurfs for being annoying. No. The Smurfs are magical beings that are the key for immortality. Gargamel wants to be an all-powerful immortal wizard, and the Smurfs are the ingredient that's missing. The final ingredient for his immortality potion. With it, he can finally take the kingdom. He can conquer the kingdom. He can live an immortal life that it was promised to him when he started studying magic. It's all that is left to achieve all his long life goals. He doesn't care about them being annoying. The only reason they're annoying to him... Why don't you just make a deal with Dan and sacrifice his mercs on the half deals and... Is this wrong? So Papa Smurf would never go for it. Papa Smurf is like fiercely protective of the Smurfs. He does consider them all to be his children. He would never go for it. There have been situations where Gargamel actually tried to bargain something similar to Papa Smurf, you know? Papa Smurf usually rejects, and then Gargamel's like, then you're gonna watch them all suffer, and then something happens that foils his plan. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. But you know what? The Smurfs make a lot of sense compared to this one other little gem that the world would rather be forgotten. But it will never be forgotten because I will always slightly remember the snorkels. Have you ever heard of the snorkels? This amazingly popular franchise, the snorkels. The beautiful, beautifully animated and full of fun adventure, the snorkels. I mean, after losing so many times, I would just give up, but then again, you could say that to every villain. Yeah, he is very persistent. I mean, it's literally immortality and unlimited magical power. Right? It's always right there, taunting him, tantalizing him. Yeah, the snorkels. Have you never heard of the snorkels, Camel God? Here. I will show it to you. Hold up. Sorry, it's not even the snorkels, it's the snorks. My bad. Actually, it's called the snorks. A much better name. These are... These are so underwhelming. Behold the snorks. These are the snorks. Look at them. Y'all wanna know what they are, Camel God? They're pretty much Smurfs but underwater. They're pretty much Smurfs but underwater. I mean, that is kind of a gross simplification. They are different from the Smurfs. Basically, the idea of the snorks is that they're a community of these little funny looking creatures that live underwater. They have snorkels on their heads and they breathe in the water. And if they live in a city with a silly mayor, they do, don't they? And they have the most random-ass adventures because unlike the Smurfs, they don't really have an antagonist that's as clear as Gargamel. I believe there was like some snorkels that had like bad intentions, but they have like weird bad intentions like sabotaging parades and stuff like that. So they are very forgettable. They're kind of like, we're the Smurfs, but we have like 1/3 of the charm. We make just about as much sense. We have 1/3 of the charm. And you will not remember us. And honestly, I just remembered that they exist. It is that bad. There was nothing in their stories. I'll remember then. Remember me. We'll make history together. But yeah, the snorkels. They existed, and that was about it. Like, there's so many weird old cartoons, honestly. There's so many weird old cartoons. Like, oh my god. I have talked about this before, but I will say it again. That one time they made a cartoon about Casper being a police detective in space with what I can only assume were two police women that were probably inspired by comedian actresses or just actresses from another show. It is so random. It is so random. That was when children's cartoons were going through one of their first everything's better in space phases. Because that was a thing, there was a everything's better in space phase. They would just put random cartoon characters in a rocket and ship them into space. Like, literally. I believe there was Robin Hood in space. There was... I don't know if Scooby-Doo ever got to go to space. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I think instead of getting Scooby-Doo in space, we got like some sort of Scooby-Doo Jace clone instead. Because that's the thing, one thing that Hanna-Barbera did is Hanna-Barbera ripped off its own material. Scooby-Doo fan here, he did in fact go to space at least twice. Yeah, that checks out with Hanna-Barbera. That checks out with Hanna-Barbera. There was a show that I only remember the Portuguese name that was called Tutu Tubarão. Let me see if I can get that name in English. Jabberjaw! Jabberjaw. Which was, instead of being a talking dog, they had a talking shark. Yeah, Jabberjaw was a talking shark that played the drums in a band and solved mysteries with a Shaggy lookalike. Like, they weren't even trying. I'll be very real here, they weren't even trying with the Shaggy lookalike. It was like Shaggy at home. Hold up, let me get that. I gotta show this. I gotta show this. Do we have a bigger picture? I guess this will do. It's kind of amazing. There's the Shaggy lookalike. You got a Freddy lookalike. You don't get a Velma and a Daphne. You get two girls. They're very smiley. And yeah, it's like this band, literal band of heroes. Did they have Chun's neck instead of Scooby's neck? Oddly enough, no. Oddly enough, no. I don't... Did I? I don't quite remember. I remember the shark was also cowardly because that was a trait that these characters had. And they didn't solve like horror mysteries like Scooby and the gang did. They just solved random crimes, right? Their criminals were more random, like bank robbers and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be the same as Scooby-Doo, but also didn't have the charm of Scooby-Doo. You know how those things go. And then, there was the Scooby-Doo ripoff with a buggy. I think Scooby-Doo's gang went after a bank robber. Someone would have to get shot and die. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. The shark team must be strong. Strictly speaking, the shark was extremely strong when he actually decided to try. He was one of those characters that is like really powerful but really useless 95% of the time. Then there was the other one where people had a talking buggy that would help them solve crimes. They were also in a band. So at this point they were ripping off the ripoffs. Because they were ripping off the shark thing. I don't remember that one. Hold up. Talking buggy. Speed Buggy was the name. There we go. It also had a Shaggy ripoff in it too. This one had standing for Daphne, but no Velma. This is Speed Buggy. The buggy talks. But because the buggy is a buggy, and it's like an old buggy, right? Yeah, no, that's the splitting image of Shaggy. Like, if they wanted, they could just say they're related, but they don't occupy the same universe. They're not in the same cinematic universe. What a shame. Although they were in Cartoon Network commercials. Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't do that most of the time, honestly, come to think of it. That would be a pretty quick and convenient way to solve the issues. That would have been pretty convenient, actually. I hear that around soon it's like the new Ricky Roll. I like Delta Rune. Even if Delta Rune seems to not like me. I'm pretty sure that was the case with Megalovania though. When it came out. Like, I remember as a meme it was everywhere too. Like, the videos we just changed it to. And you get like dancing gifts of Sans Undertale. True, now that you mention it. Yeah. It's just a meme. It's just the cycle of memes being reborn anew. Magnificent. Magnificent. Time repeats itself. It does. It does. Like, and let's not forget the most wild and exotic team of crime fighters that Hanna-Barbera has ever conducted. You are never gonna get this. This thing is extremely wild. They're all women. I'm talking about the fortunately or unfortunately name Josie and the Pussycats. Which was a show where, get this, a band of teenagers solves crimes. But this time, it's a band, it's an all-women's band. Icarus! Thank you! 20 months, oh my god, thank you! Thank you, thank you! Thank you for all the support, I really appreciate it! How are you doing today? Hope you're doing good. We're talking about cartoons that are so old, I can actually feel mold building up in my throat. Cartoons that are so old that I can feel the mold building up in my throat as I talk of them. Like, the 1,000 different just Scooby-Doo clones. I know Josie and the Pussycats well. My mom has Art of the House along with Archie. Josie and the Pussycats was an Archie franchise, right? Honestly, they're kinda cute. Not gonna lie. Did you bring up Pink Panther? Not yet, not yet. We're going through the huge list of cartoons that were made to try to cash in on Scooby-Doo's popularity. Good, because it's not old, okay? Mm-hmm. I was talking about Jabberjaw early. And that one where Casper went to space and was a detective. That one was so goofy. God, that one was so goofy. My God. That one I'll never forget, I'll never forgive. And I remember that when they actually announced a Casper movie, and they announced that Casper would have uncles, I thought they were going for the uncle that Casper went to space into, and I was like, oh my god, is this gonna be canon? I was so excited, but then it wasn't, and then I was very disappointed with the movie. I was very disappointed that one of those uncles didn't look like a caveman with a clown bozo nose. Did you watch the Laugh Olympics? I might have, but it probably had a different name. What was it about, Icarus? Tell me what it was about, so... Because... the name... Like... I'll be real. Way back when, Brazil had an amazing team that would localize everything, they changed the name of every character and every series to something that would make sense. Bugs Bunny was called Pernalonga here in Brazil, which sounds really good in Portuguese, but also mean long legs, which makes a lot of sense because he's a bunny with very long legs. Perna longa. It was all about Hanna-Barbera cartoons doing ridiculous Olympic event. I barely remember seeing it, but now that you tell me about it, I believe I sing. Pernalonga. Yeah, it's such a good name. And you know what Daffy Duck name was? Patolino. Because he's a duck, so Pato. And the Lino is like how you would think of a name. So, yeah, Patolino. Was like part of an actual name. It does, doesn't it? It was awesome. It was awesome. Pato Lucas? Oh, that is adorable too. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, honestly. I like it. That's a pretty good name too. Elmer Fudd was called Hortelino. And the Texas guy was called Eufrazino. Portuguese the series was Hoholipix. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Texas guy? Texas, the cowboy. The mean cowboy. Yeah. The red-headed one. Yes, yes. Eufrazino. Was such a good name. Was such a good name. I think it was just because he was really grouchy. Yeah, oh yeah, he's called Sam, isn't he? Yeah, I know. Like, they actually... It was so good because they actually tried. Nowadays, I feel really bad. Because nowadays, they don't bother translating the names. They don't bother localizing it. They just... Sometimes they just leave the name in English. I have actually watched Superman cartoons where they call it Superman instead of its official Portuguese name that's just Super-Homem. And calling Spider-Man instead of Homem-Aranha. Because you know, that's Spider-Man in Portuguese. Doesn't it? It's an amazing name. Pink Panther is pretty golden. It is. The Spanish will still keep the name in Spanish, Hombre. We do here too, but every so often some translation team will be like really lazy and just not translate it, and it's like, ugh. Okay, you wanna hear what was the name of the most hated Scooby-Doo character, Scrappy-Doo's name, in Portuguese? You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. His name in Portuguese was not Scrappy-Doo, it was Scooby-Loo. Scooby-Loo. Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Loo. Scooby-Loo. Cause... And you wanna know why? Has a very good reason. Has a very good reason. It sounds way better, and get this, get the reason. So when you're in Portuguese, it was very common that when you're tickling like a baby, you say to him, bilu 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 bilu, right? So that's where Scooby-Doo came from. Just because it's a cutesy, childish thing to say. And because Scooby-Doo is like a child version of Scooby-Doo, it made completely sense to do that. Man, they would put so much thought into these. It's like no thought at all. See, like this kind of stuff now makes me a little sad because it's like, oh, iPads are harmful to your children, but like they canceled a bunch of TV shows for children here in Brazil. They canceled Saturday morning cartoons aren't a thing anymore. Like the most the prices of Legos are up through the roof. So like what a child will have most of the time for entertainment is like an iPad. What's the most unhinged translation you've heard for a character? Depends. It really depends. If it's a bad translation, it was actually a Yu-Gi-Oh card. The worst translation in a cartoon that I ever heard was actually in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was basically a mistranslation. It's such a gross mistranslation that happened because the translator was listening to the audio, but not even listening to the audio. The guy was literally reading a script and they gave him like zero context of what he was translating. Right? So it's that episode where Weevil summons his Moth in the second season when he was fighting Joey. Right? So Weevil's fighting Joey, he summons his Moth, and it says, "Aha, I have summoned my ultimately great Moth." Right? The ultimately great Moth. And the person translating read mouth. So he translated ultimately perfect great Moth to the greatest of all mouths. A maior de todas as bocas. The monster doesn't even have a mouth. It's a moth. There's not even like a mouth with tiny teeth. So, when he summoned the monster, everyone was fucking confused. Like, I know I've always known quite a bit of English, so I knew immediately what had happened. But a lot of my peers didn't, so they were like, what is happening? Yeah. And as far as Yu-Gi-Oh cards went, right, they just like every so often, right, there would be something. Because when the first Portuguese version was released of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game here in Brazil, the company, I think it was Upper Deck, like gave zero shits. They were like, huh, we got this. Portugal speaks Portuguese too. We just need to put the cards that we put in Portugal here too, and it's easy peasy. So, because of that, And because they didn't know local sensibilities were different and certain things, certain words don't translate one to one exactly, right? We had a card that was called the Really Sad Hooker. There was the Red Eyes Black Cock, was also a card. There was the Spirit Summoner. It was meant to be Spirit Summoner, but they typed it wrong. And so on and so forth with how janky the translations were. They got their translations over time, but I will still remember that there was a card in a certain meta archetype that was called Virgil the Rockstar, I believe. Right? And the translation translated Rockstar literally. So instead of being a star of rock, his name was literally a star made of rocks. Red Eyes Black Hawk, that's Grandpa's most precious card. Nah, Black Hawk. It was Red Eyes Chick, by the way. And unfortunately, they errated the name. So nowadays you can't even find the original version. And now I feel really sad that I didn't save one up. If I knew that was going to happen, I would have kept one up for historical purposes. So that error could never be forgotten. You can still find some photos of it on the internet, I think, but that's only a matter of time until it becomes lost media. I think it's a matter of time until it becomes lost media, Camel God, unfortunately. I guess it's part of growing old, is seeing stuff you took for granted that would be there forever becoming lost media. I think that's a huge part of it. God, I love this song so much. Okay, Bachi, I do need to take care of a couple of things. I have to see you guys around. Please keep amazing. Alright, Icarus, have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. What's the love? Brazilian Yu-Gi-Oh! Translations are great, too bad there's no archive of them. Yeah. I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki has translated versions of all the cards in all different languages. Including that one card that is called Perfect As in German. Which is a thing. Apparently the word ace is translated to as. Is pronounced as in German. You start Kaiba being obliterated by a Zodiac Gift when someone hits you with perfect ass. The perfect ass. The supremely perfect ass. There we go. But man, like... And you have the perfect cake. Oh no! I got my cake exposed today. Ah, because of Leela. See here. But I do. I gotta say, there are certain things that if I knew, I would have kept better, taken better care of it. My old Pokemon card collections being one thing. God, I think those are like worth so much nowadays. Only you had a pocket Smurf to keep your pants up all times. Oh no. You know, I'd feel really bad for the poor pocket Smurf. It's like, what is my purpose? To keep my pants up. The downsides of being born with an assigned purpose. There we go. There we go. Alas, you have no way of knowing, and that's why these things become valuable. Because most people throw them away. And if you're swimming, snorkels can't keep their swimming trunks on. I think there are actually jokes like that in the cartoon. Actually. You wanna hear like another like really useless piece of animation that existed a long time ago that I remember? The Gummy Bears. This one was a Disney exclusive, by the way. I might have to make a new version of the show then. Yeah, I wish not to have something special in the video game ends. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Gummy Bears? Now we're talking like peak mode. This is the kind of mode that you will find in like an ancient tomb. The Gummy Bears are the word that makes people fear them. Have you ever seen that one, Camel God? Gummy Bears, they bounce everywhere. That's why they are the Gummy Bears. Okay, so this one was a Disney property, and unlike what you might be thinking, unlike what you might want to believe, this is actually not a cartoon about singing and dancing bears made of candy. This is not a cartoon about bears made of candy. I must warn you. Before we go any further, I must warn you, this is not about candied cartoon bears. So, Gummy Bears is essentially Disney's Asterix. They're made of flesh. They are made of flesh. But they're magical talking bears that live deep in the woods of medieval times. So they're a lot more like Smurfs. They're actually a lot more like Smurfs. They're kind of like Disney Smurfs. And the thing that makes the gummy bears so special is the fact that they have access to the gummy potion. An ancient potion. An ancient druidic elixir of untold power. And what power might that be, you might be asking? Well, it's the power of bouncing. With this elixir, they have the power to bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. And they will bounce everywhere. They're just bouncing around everywhere. They will bounce around everywhere. So, jiggle physics! I mean bears, yeah. They are the gummy bears. They are bouncing around everywhere. The song is kind of like that. I think you can actually watch the show on Disney Plus if you like really want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to, you can do it. But yeah, basically the gummy bears find themselves involved into fantasy medieval time hijinks, right? And they have like all have different personalities. And they're pretty much like the seven dwarfs in terms of personality. It's like there's the wise gummy bear, and there is the grumpy gummy bear, and there is the girl gummy bear, and there is the mom gummy bear. There was actually a mom gummy bear, now that I think about it. Her personality was literally mom. And there is like old gummy bear, which I think was responsible for making the potion. I believe it was called gummy juice, right? Yeah, no, it was definitely called gummy juice. It was called gummy juice, and it was a secret formula. You'll never guess what gummy juice was made of. It was made, in fact, of gummy fruit. And I guess there was a villain that was trying to make the formula for himself, because the bouncy powers would allow him to take over the world? Look, it's been a long time. I don't remember anything. I remember that they were bears. They fought by bouncing. And I was like, wow, this is just like Asterix, the Gaul, but really, really lame. At least it's not made out of old bears. That would make for some interesting conflict, though. It would be like, I don't know, Gummy Soylent. Don't drink the gummy juice. It's bears. The gummy is bears. The gummy is bears. Yeah, nothing like that. God, like, the thing with these old Disney properties, right, is that they weren't very good. Most of them weren't very good. Like, the biggest exception was DuckTales. DuckTales was good. DuckTales was actually pretty amazing, but everything else was just very mid. I remember, so I have an interesting relationship with Disney Plus. Basically, me and Momochi, we had an agreement that started because of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? There was a time when we weren't completely sick of it. And there were like some really good shows that were coming out actually. Like WandaVision and Loki. And those were actually pretty fun. DuckTales was good. It was. Has the catchiest song of all times too. The catchiest song of all time is the DuckTales theme. It's just so full of energy. Darkwing Duck, I only remember one episode of the show, but it was a almost formative episode for me. I'm trying to think there was this one show I watched. Are you thinking about Tailspin? Because Tailspin was definitely there. The one that had the Jungle Book Bear as a pilot for hire. A delivery pilot for hire. He would drive like he would drive for a bear lady named Rebecca. She was like a 90s businesswoman. She was also very sassy. And there was this kid that could surf on clouds. Yeah, like, I rewatched Tailspin because the way me and Momochi do with the Disney Plus, we already have way too many subscriptions to different things, right? And subscribing to Disney feels a little bit like, especially with how they run business nowadays, stuff like that. So what we do is basically once a year, we will use a virtual credit card to basically rent Disney for 1 month. Right? And then we cancel the card and they can't like trap us into renewing the subscription over and over. So we get 1 month of Disney Channel to enjoy stuff like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is nowadays the only reason why we would want to subscribe to Disney Channel. It has It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in there for some reason. Which is very confusing because that's a very, very wrong show. It's extremely non-PC, and I don't know why Disney wants that, but it's there. Could be on Netflix, but no, it's on Disney Plus. Anyways. So we basically rent out to Disney Plus for a month. And Chip and Dale was good. Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale. By the way, Chip and Dale had a Portuguese translated name. They are called Chiquiteco. And the name has actually become a part of Portuguese vernacular in order to tell that you're being dumb. So essentially what you will say is that both of your brains, you have 2 brain cells, they're called Chip and Dale. But like, oh, Chip and Dale stopped working there? Yeah, yeah, Tico-Teco. Tico-Teco. In Portuguese, it's Tico-Teco. But essentially, it's like I have 2 brain cells and they're called Chip and Dale. That is basically the idea. It's actually part of our vernaculum. It's an idiom. Honest to God idiom. That's how popular Chip and Dale are. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Even my mom uses this idiom. Just so you know how popular it is. And it kind of makes sense because it's like 2 little squirrels. 2 little squirrels bouncing around in your brain. That is totally the image of when you derp out, right? If that's not the perfect mental image of someone derping out, I don't know what it is. That reminds me, there was a Chip and Dale movie. I didn't watch that. It had that sort of funny joke at the expense of Ugly Sonic. The only other one I can think I watched it was The Tick. Tick was pretty good. The Tick was very thick. Was a good show. Barely remember anything about it though. I remember there was this Wonder Woman stand-in that was just a housemaid that kicked ass. They tried to make several live-action adaptations of The Tick to... not exactly success? I remember one of them flopped on the first episode. And the other one was okay, but it was an Amazon exclusive, I think. I do have Amazon Prime, so I can take longer to post my videos so I don't lose them. But I never really stopped it to watch. The cartoon was very low random too, it was very like spoon. The humor fitted right in with 2000s internet humor. Was like the pinnacle of low random. Low random XD. Also, our Batman sucks. I don't know why they made him Hispanic in the adaptation. They changed his name to Batmanuel, but I was pretty sure he wasn't called Batmanuel in the original version, so I don't know why they changed his joke essentially. I have no idea. You know what's weird though? You know what's really weird? The heroes from The Tick would fit in so well with the heroes from One Punch Man. Have you ever thought about that? Because the heroes from One Punch Man are kinda weird, right? They're like... their superpowers are kinda clunky. There's a guy that's just a Yankee with a bat. And like... tell me if you can't see Saitama and The Tick sharing a drink together. Think about it. You can absolutely see both of them in the room. You can see the Tick helping out Moomin Rider clearly as day. Don't tell me you can't see that happening. You can see that happening. You can picture it. Moomin Rider would fit in with the crowd of the Tick perfectly. Guy whose superpower is I have a bike. I have a bike and I do a lot of cardio. Moomin Rider is secretly holding back his strength. He can wipe out galaxies. Man, you know, considering the logic of how Saitama became strong, right? I think Moomin Rider should be strong. The man does cardio, does one heck of a cardio training every single day. He bikes literally everywhere. He should have more power. You know? Writer of One Punch Man? That is inconsistent writing. That is inconsistent writing. If Saitama's training regimen made him that strong, Moomin Rider should be at least half as strong without the cardio he does. This is not good world building. Come on, you can do our boy better. You can do our boy better. He is more of a stand-in for Kamen Rider. You know, the guy with the bug helmet that rides a bicycle. He rides a motorcycle. Moomin Rider's like, it's meant to be like Kamen Rider's lame cousin. I do like King does have a power, which is just luck and misunderstanding. There's a character in the Marvel Universe called Domino. Just call it Domino because, haha, domino effect. Her power is luck. I remember she appeared in one of the Deadpool movies, and while Deadpool keeps telling her that luck is not a superpower, but then she does amazing stuff with it, while Deadpool is just like, luck is not a superpower. Meanwhile, she's like walking through a buzz in flames, completely unscathed. Because her luck makes every coincidence possible, shields her with every coincidence possible. I gotta say, I kind of want this luck superpower. It is like, for real, that power is aggressive. There is one other character who has a similar luck-based power, which is Nagito from the Danganronpa series. And honestly, it's a scary power. It's a scary power. Especially if it's in the hands of someone who shouldn't have this kind of power. Because, like, Nagito's luck was reality bending. He was the super lucky student. I would be worried if it beat me back, though. Funnily enough, the power does bite Nagito in the ass, because it's like a luck shield that is like constantly around him, and it kind of brings misfortunes to everyone else. Like, he is extremely lucky, But you know that it's kind of like a cursed luck where like, oh no, there's a basketball flying right at you. Oh my god, the basketball was coincidentally diverted from the going to your face and instead goes into that random girl's face. You know that kind of stuff? It's kind of like, this unlucky event has to happen to someone. But your luck prevents it from being you who gets affected by it. So it like turns your luck into other people's misfortune. Yeah. Like it's transferring to others, exactly. I believe because of that, Nagito developed like a weird trauma situation. He had surprisingly low self-esteem because everyone else could do stuff, and in his case, stuff just happened to him. He didn't think he really deserved it either. So he created a bit of a weird complex where he would idolize other people and hate himself. And he would try to harm himself, and guess what happened when he tried to harm himself? His luck protected him. His luck protected him so much that he kinda thought nothing had consequences. Nothing that he did had consequences. And he started doing really weird shit, and well, in the game you get to see that descent into madness. And hello Zor, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I mean, you are already here, you were lucky, but welcome back from your lurk. Gooda, that's Gooda to hear. I'm doing good, I'm doing good. Like I said, I nearly got my butt exposed on the street today, but other than that, doing good. Doing good. Damn, nobody. But yeah, we were just reminiscing about old stuff. And then we were talking about superpowers. Booty! Booty, booty, shorts. Booty, booty, shorts. Booty, 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 shorts. Oh, good job, Zor. You're almost there to get your very own custom ninja lane. Congratulations! It's been a long journey. Oh, that is cake. I never know what you can actually get away with on Twitch. There's a lot. I see. I mean, then again, this is an emote. Let's see. Did she put it here? Okay, so she didn't put this one on Twitch. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. That one was a Discord server exclusive. Never mind. I am 95% sure that is actually not allowed, Camel God. But a lot of content creators, if they're small enough, they kinda get away with stuff. As long as no one like reports them and ruins the fun. It's fine. Also, that is a big streamer. Oh. Well, slap me silly and call me Daisy. I guess you can get away with a lot of stuff. Hi, Daisy. Holy. It's interesting. They do have like an auto emote evaluation thingy. So I never really got any of my emotes held back by it a lot. Ah, 18 plus, that's okay. That's okay. Technically, I'm an 18 plus streamer too. Though I mostly took that decision because of one, I wasn't really thinking like, wow, I can't wait to become a streamer and take money from children. Or teenagers in that case. And two, I can be a potty mouth. And like having like a young audience felt like a bit of a big responsibility. Imagine someone went to a wholesome big streamer, did on-screen simulation by bit sting with this emote that would not go well. Yeah, that is an issue. That is an issue. I do think stuff like that is a little bit like a time bomb waiting to happen. But hey. What do I know, right? Ah, the booba ones. Ah, this one's in Portuguese. That's a PT streamer. Argumentos. Oh my god, guys. We're very close from finishing this batch. We are very close to finishing this batch. And then there will be very little left. I like Whiskey's butt emoji. Yeah, Whiskey's butt emoji is good. Very good butt. Okay, so like the first one that's just like a short is, I think it's 100% completely fine. The one with the torn stocking is a little bit more, it's kind of more sussy. And that other one is, I don't know, butt cleavage? Butt cleavage. There are a lot of such emotes. I am aware. I am aware. Especially on 70 TV. I'm not entirely sure how much control Twitch has over the 70 TV emotes. Yeah, because it's like cleavage, but for your butt. You know? Yep, there's gonna be a riot about it. There's gonna be a riot about it, I'm sure. Quite a shame. I think they're trying to pressure Steam as well, but I think Steam will actually stand their ground. People were starting to have fun, that's why these appeared. I have no idea, Camel God. Unfortunately, the only lessons I had in law during my time at college were for environmental law. And Brazilian one specifically. Like, and this is gonna sound really weird, but like, weirdly enough, almost feels like there is a hidden opportunity to make a special credit card company that you can use specifically to buy prom games. Like the XXX card! Use it to buy prom! You know? Like a special banking service for buying prom. You'd be like, oh, there's no way anyone would do that. But then you remember, at least here in Brazil, right? There's a... Banks are now offering streamer slash gamer application, streamer slash gamer grants. So basically you can instead of like financing a house, right, you can finance your the gaming computer of your dreams. Yep. That is actually a service. And more interestingly enough, it's a service that I keep seeing getting advertised all the time right here on Twitch. I actually get Brazilian ads for gaming PC grants. Gaming PC loans. They have like YouTuber programs too, I think, for like people with disabilities to become YouTubers or professional esport gamers. There's a bunch of things that I'm like, huh, okay. What? Gas station attendants required. In Brazil, it's illegal for drivers to pump their own gas. A law enacted 2000 mandates that gas stations must have attendants to handle refueling ostensibly to protect drivers' health and maintain jobs. That is absolutely real. That is absolutely real. There is no self-fueling in Brazil. That is not a thing. I didn't actually know there was a law for it, but it makes so much sense here. Like, honestly, there are people who would absolutely pour gasoline on themselves if there isn't like someone to put the gasoline in their tanks. I did not know that. That is very odd to me. Yeah, no, here it makes sense. Like, well, Brazil has a lot of labor laws, right? So I am pretty sure that law exists to protect that job. It's like it's a low-paying job, but it's a job. It's an honest job, you know. I see people smoke while filling gas, not as smart as people. Yeah, like technically, leaving these people to their own devices is just harming public safety. It's like you're risking public safety for like what reason exactly do you have for that? To like save up on the employees, you know? Save up on employees' payments? Nah, bruh. Nah. That shit doesn't fly around here. You ain't getting away. But like the electric refueling stations, those are self-service. For electric cars, absolutely. But gas, diesel, all that jazz, nah. You need technically trained professional. You need a trained professional to handle gasoline. It makes sense, doesn't it? Clown license law, São Paulo. In São Paulo, to work as a professional clown, performers must carry a license provided they're actually funny. Don't know if this is real, but sounds kind of funny. Not necessarily to prove that they're actually funny. But like in Brazil, there's a lot of different unions, and there's unions for artists and performers. So clown union is very much in line, and there's actually entities devoted to protecting the sanctity of the clown profession. I believe they like really dislike the Joker too as a character, because it depicts clowns in a bad light. So stuff like scary clown, stuff like that association really dislikes. And like Momochi was talking about in another one of her streams, there are like special hospitals where you can request clown service in your room. You may request a clown. So yeah, it makes sense. Like, in order for me to work as a translator, for instance, right? I need to be enrolled in the Translators Association for me to do like a paid job, a paid translation job. There is an association that I need to enroll and pay annual fee so that I can work as a translator here in Brazil. I actually joined them for a while, but I quit because I wasn't getting a lot of jobs for translating, and the pay annually didn't really wasn't really giving me a lot of benefits, but I can enroll at any time I want again, so that is fine. Random but scenario in my head. Imagine calling a cloud to your room the whole time they perform, you just cry no stop. Oh no. I mean, like, in a hospital scenario, I could see that happening depending on what your doctor told you. It's kinda dark, but yeah. Hospitals are what hospitals are. Doctor, you have 2 days to live. Then they call Chuckles the Clown, and Chuckles like, hello, who is the life of the party? Honk honk! Aw, what's the matter, buddy? Are you not feeling well? Man, tough crowd. I guess there's no life to this party, honk honk. Hey, I must say, you're pretty good at acting like Chuckles the Clown. I'm starting to suspect you was at a job like that. Man, you know what I need in my life? I need a Chuckles animation where he's talking about the war crimes, but it's Kafka. Because I am pretty sure Kafka did all the war crimes that Chuckles listed in the game. Final Fantasy VI. The Kafka is the OG war criminal clown. I mean, technically he's a Pyro, but you know. Yeah, no. Same thing, really. Same thing, different routine. I still need to play Final Fantasy VI on this channel. 6 and 4 are my favorites. Absolutely all-time favorites. Though I'll be real, playing all of them would be amazing. All the original Final Fantasies. Well, maybe not 2. 2 is kinda bad. Final Fantasy 2 is the worst Final Fantasy, unfortunately. Because of the level up system. which is just obtuse. Have you ever heard about that, Camel God? Have you ever heard about the infamy of Final Fantasy II leveling system? It was a very bad idea. So basically, Final Fantasy 1 had the basic status progression system, right? You level up, you gain stats, and you level up some more until you get all the stats, and you feel strong. And that's good, right? Final Fantasy 2, because the video games were in their experimental years still, and they didn't know they had hit gold with the first time they tried the formula around, right? I remember my friend doing a marathon of Final Fantasy and struggling with the second game, and I think 14. So here's the hidden secret of the second game. The second game mechanic for leveling up revolves around the idea of powering your character based on how he performs in battle. So it's kind of a simple idea where if you attack a lot, your attack power will go up. If you use magic a lot, your magical power will go up instead. You know, it's kind of like trying to make a very synergistic system where it makes sense, right? It makes sense. If you're a fighter, you're gonna hit a lot of enemies with your sword, and hitting enemies with your sword becomes easier because you're practicing hitting enemies with the sword. Fair enough, makes sense, right? Pretty straightforward. What could go wrong? Well, for one, they apply this to everything. So, in order to increase your HP, you need to take damage. In order to increase your block rate with a shield, you need to have a shield equipped, you need to get attacked, and you need to randomly block the attack. It's a random chance event situation kind of thing, right? If you want to raise your defense, it's also through taking damage, right? So let me tell you the issue that they did not think at all while they were making the system. Let me ask you, the thing about that is the game counts the actions. It doesn't count the target of said actions. So, let me tell you the terrifying experience of being a level 1 goblin in this game. You're a level 1 goblin. Your job is to stop the heroes from progressing in the game. Simple enough. You're not like really supposed to kill them, you're just like supposed to soften up a little bit for the boss to take care, right? It's fine. It's cool. Everything is cool. You're doing your rounds, and then you see the party of heroes. Finally, this is your time to shine. This is the time to show that you truly are a low-level mob. And then you enter the party, and you're the fight, and you're ready to fight. But this is weird. The hero is going first, but he's not attacking you. The hero pulled out a dagger and is now stabbing himself right in the chest. Over and over. You're attacking them, and all they seem to do is stab themselves in the chest over and over with the lowest damage dagger that you can find in the game. They're literally taking 1 damage, stabbing themselves over and over and over. And then, suddenly, they feel like they're done, and they dispatch you in 1 hit. For you see, attacking yourself will raise your attack and your defense and your HP levels and your block levels simultaneously. Same with casting magic. You have that one mage who is self-immolating himself all the time, so he can raise both his magic attack and his magic defense at the same time. It's much easier to raise your levels by finding a weak enemy or killing all the enemies until there's only 1 mob left, and then hitting yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again. That is how you level up in that game. That is how you level up in that game. I don't know if they fixed that in the remake. They seem to like fixing things in remakes, so maybe they fixed that in the remake, which I think is a loss, by the way. To me, that's absolute L. Because that is so funny. It is terrible. It's a terrible system and a terrible idea. But remembering that this is an idea that the developers had is so funny to me. It's so funny to me. This is how you spend the beginning of the game, by the way. This is literally how you spend the beginning of the game. You find a place you can heal, and you just wail at yourself. You try to not get yourself killed because you went too far and the enemy gets to get the kill. But usually you're gonna get the goblins, right? You can kinda start playing normally, right? But once you get a little bit resistance, boom. Stabbing yourself is the most effective tactic. That is not a good life lesson. That's not the life lesson you wanna promote with your game, you know? Stabbing yourself should not be the answer, but stabbing yourself in this game is the answer. And there you go, that's Final Fantasy II for you. That leveling system, never again. Never again. Never again. There was another game that did that, but it wasn't for Final Fantasy, it was an MMO. And the way they did it didn't allow for you to hit yourself. It was such a drag though. That game was so bad. Okay, so to clarify, the game wasn't actually bad, but the level up system was really bad. The way that game worked was similar, where you had to perform actions and equip special items in battle, right? In order to progress. But you also had a base level. And every time you leveled up your base level, you lost the opportunity to raise some stats. Because you already leveled up. So basically, it was like a 2-for-1. You had to do the actions without leveling up, and then you had to gather the actual levels to level up. So it was very messy. I played that game a little bit. It had a lot of cool ideas and a lot of terrible execution. A lot of good ideas with terrible execution. That was basically how that game went. was kind of sad, but you know, MMOs, you know how it is. MMO's gonna MMO. It had a very weird political component in it too. Like, there were 3 races at war in this planet who were trying to compete each other to drill resources. And there were, like, weekly wars to control said resources that were full-blown server wars, stuff like that. And you could like assign players to be like diplomats for your race, and they could form agreements because you couldn't speak your enemy race's language, but the diplomats could. Okay, so I am gonna stop here. We're almost done, but I have to stop now because it's time for me to go to bed. So everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. I didn't get time to do this. I thought I was gonna get time, but okay. I'll fix this another day. Thank you very much for joining me, Camel God. Thank you very much everyone who joined me, everyone who's lurking. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. Stay awesome. And now, I think I find us someone to raid. Let's see. Who is on? Who is on today on Twitch? Yeah, let's raid Whiskey. Let's raid Whiskey. All right. There we go. So everyone, thanks again for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. Stay awesome. And remember, when in doubt, when you think you can't do it, just think like a ninja. And sure you can. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.